Welcome to the Gritty Podcast. I'm Brian Call, and this is another episode of the latest gear that I've used. This one is going to be about the RX-5000 from Leupold, the Rangefinder. I'm doing a giveaway right now. If you head over to peaksequipment.com, you will see it. It's a $12,000 gear giveaway, and all you got to do is shop at Peax to be entered to win. And in that package, we're going to, in one of the weekly giveaways, we're going to give away one of these Leupold RX-5000 rangefinders. Okay, let's talk about the rangefinder, what makes it special. Well, I actually think, based on years of, being in the backcountry and having guys use various rangefinders from other brands and such, I think Leupold's rangefinding tech is elite, among the top in the industry, if not the best. Their calculations, how well the laser punches through fog and rain. I've just used it side by side with other brands, and it has outperformed those brands. Now, this is the Full Draw 4 rangefinder. I have the Full Draw 5 as well. I have the 1600. This is the RX-5000. And I'm just having this discussion with my buddy Jeremiah Plyer over at Wild Arrow this last week. Well, if you're a bow hunter or just a hunter in general, which one of these do you want? Quick announcement. Peax has a Dyneema shelter drop this Thursday, July 16th, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. You can get the Dyneema tarp. You can get the one-person tent, the four-person teepee, or the six-person teepee. Use the code GRITTY and you'll save. This Thursday, July 16th, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you're interested, get in quick because it'll be, when it's gone, it's gone. What makes them different? Well, at this point, this is just me. Everybody's a little different, but the both of these have the archery technology in them. All the latest software to calculate angles and all the goodies that come with archery. So you can put in your P-pipe and your arrow speed and all these factors and just get ballistic data just loaded into these, and they crush. What does the RX-5000 give me that the full draw, maybe bow hunting only rangefinder doesn't? Well, one of the things it does is gives me more range. Like you can range a lot farther with a 5000. The other thing that the 5000 does is it syncs with my Onyx maps. So now I can range a buck or elk or whatever on the opposite mountain, and I can range with this, and it will drop the pin right onto my Onyx maps, onto my phone. And it'll show me, like, boom, that's where the animal is. It almost doesn't seem fair. Honestly, how many times I've used my maps, satellite imagery, I've zoomed in, I'm looking at topo lines, I'm looking at elevation markers, I'm looking at terrain, looking at satellite imagery for trees and rocks, and I'm plotting where the animal is, so that when I get over to the other side of the mountain 4 hours later, that I'm somewhere in the ballpark, or I know where that animal's at. The other thing one of the things that I found as a limitation with some of the full draw type stuff or the bow hunting only is the ranges aren't always as good as the more rifle centric type rangefinders are. And man, a lot of times I can be out there, and back in the day, I would range a mountain peak here, and then I draw a line to that peak, and then I draw a line to this peak, and then I could look at the intersection of where these two lines cross, because the animal's to the left of that intersection. And then I could range the distance of the animal and say it's 2,800 yards. Then I could just go 2,800 yards and draw an arc. And then I can go, okay, 2,800 yards, it's somewhere at that range, and it's only so far from where these two peaks intersect on this line, and kind of plot a grid, okay, the animal's right about here somewhere, especially when it's all timbered or timbered slope or something like that. And So I also like knowing how far away it is. Like, I don't like it when I get a result back that says, oh, it's too far to tell me. So, but more importantly, this gives me all the information I need for angle compensation, for ballistic data, for my bow, and my rifle all in one. And now all that plotting I did with the satellite imagery and the topo and all that, I still like sanity check this thing, but now I literally, like, I was with Tom. I'll put this video into this podcast. I was with Tom Schneider from Stuck in Rut, and he and I were hunting bears this last spring, and he shot a bear in a hole, and I was able to just range it, and it plotted where the bear was, like onto my OnX in like a couple seconds. And then sure enough, we go down there and that's where it was. I want to show you this right here. This is the Leupold RX-5000. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to range. If I go into the app here, go into this Leupold app, it says range, or pin, and send pin, calibrate. So it's calibrated. So when I hit pin, now what it's going to do is when I range that location, so I'm ranging right where Tom shot that bear, and it just dropped a pin on my OnX. Okay, so it dropped a pin right in that chute where you shot him. That's cool. But yeah, that looks like the right spot. That's cool. So it drops this little Leupold pin kind of right down in there where the shot was. Whew, that breeze is nasty. But yeah, let's load up and start hiking because I'm cold and sweaty. I was able to plot an animal, a couple of bears that we went after way up on top of the mountain, drops the pin, go up there. We're within a couple hundred yards of where the animal was as we're like trying to relocate it. And so many times when you're looking at it on a map and it's really far away, you can't see all the little lines in the ground. And with 3D imagery, it's a lot easier now that you can use 3D imagery offline. I mean, that's a game changer. Modern hunters are spoiled. I remember back in the day when I was using paper maps. That's how old I am. So the fact that it does that is pretty remarkable. I think the RX-5000, it's just what I'm going to take. The one thing this is the debate I was having with Jay over at Wild Arrow, is the full draw does do, I forget what it's called. It does this like, trajectory interference calculation. So if I'm hunting a wooded area, or I'm like at the Total Archery Challenge and I'm going to shoot through some bushes, the full draw will tell you whether you're going to hit a branch on the way to the target. Now, that is pretty powerful. So if I'm hunting, which I plan to be, blacktail, like this year, I'm going to try to get up there with Nathan Endicott and hunt some blacktails in the Oregon or Washington forest. In that case, yeah, I think I probably would bring this. First of all, it's timbered. It's like Mount Hood type stuff. You can't see that far anyway. So why would this 5000 really come into play? It's not like open country like where I'm hunting mule deer right now. So the full draw really makes sense. I could sit there and just range through some timber, some brush, and see if my arrow is going to clear on its way there, or if it would be impeded by a branch or something. So that's where the full draw really can make a difference. If you're hunting that thicker country and you don't need distance, super long distance ranging, and you don't necessarily need to plot a pin location of where the animal is. Okay. So I think that's where the full draw really shines. So I could see myself using this in the thick Oregon forest, but then all my other hunts pretty much using the 5000. Now, I say all of this with one massive caveat. And that is, when will I even use a handheld rangefinder when I have the BX6 rangefinding binoculars by Leupold? And having had some conversations with Pedro and then getting my hands on it myself, this thing has a whole weather system in it. It does things that will blow your mind. I don't have to change my sight tape. I have it dialed in at the house right now. Dialed. I can go to any elevation, any weather, any location in the world with this, and it will tell me where to dial my existing tape to compensate. It's no more switching up tapes, no more having to sight in a different elevation line. None. It's like this thing does it all. So I'll talk about that on another episode, because that's remarkable. It can be game changing, especially if you are an efficient archery shooter and you do have really good range with your bow. The BX6 can change your life. So anyway, it's way more, but cost wise, it's out of reach for some people, and for what they need. And that is where the 5000 RX-5000 just really comes into play and changes everything. Okay. So that's it for the Leupold RX-5000. Love it. Can't recommend it enough. Price point is killer. Syncs with your Onyx maps. It does it all. Full draw rangefinder. That's where you're shooting through brush. You got a lot of objects between you and the animal, and you want to make sure your arrow arc will safely travel the distance without hitting something on the way there. Boom. That's your other tool. That's the difference between the two, really. And, yeah, hard to say. But if you need one that does it all, I'm willing to give up what the full draw can do for what the 5000 can do. That's my take. That's my gritty take. So anyway, hope that was helpful. If you want to get in on the giveaway that I'm doing right now, the Gritty Gear Up giveaway with Peax, head over to Peax. Every dollar you spend is an entry to win, and use the code GRITTY, and it helps me keep doing this show too. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Stay gritty.